What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Ria Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Friday. Hopefully everyone is ready for the weekend. Maybe you had yourself an amazing week. Maybe you didn't, but we're here to bring your day up.
It is a holiday weekend, so perhaps people have Monday off.
Yeah, maybe they do.
Which is exciting.
Or maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't, but maybe they do. It's a big ski trip weekend.
That is true. People are planning all their ski trips. We almost went on a ski trip this weekend, actually, and then we didn't. So yeah, I think it is a ski trip weekend.
Why did you almost go on a ski trip?
Like a month or two ago.
You don't ski?
Yeah, no, not to ski.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then not a ski trip.
No, other people would be skiing.
Oh.
Me, no.
Okay.
Just sitting in the cabin.
Gotcha.
Drinking hot cocoa.
Yes.
With a little vodka
Warm by
inside.
the fire, yeah.
By the fire.
Yep.
An espresso martini hot, maybe. Or just hot cocoa. I don't know. Play games in the cabin.
Yeah.
You know?
Cabin.
House.
The lodge, right?
Yeah. The lodge. Could be a cabin.
Could be.
You don't know what my plan was.
You could have been going to a cabin.
Could have been a cabin. But no, that didn't play out.
Matt ski?
No.
No. But friends ski.
Other people would have skied. Not us. We would just root them on.
Yeah.
So
that's how I am if I get invited on a ski trip. I get invited every year to a ski trip that my friends all do. And I went the first year, and after that, I haven't said yes.
Right.
since that one that I went on. Well, because I went on it and I did not ski. And I was like, this is not really fun. Like, why am I paying to be here?
The camaraderie
when
of
everyone
the house?
is because you spend much more time alone than you realize. Because it's
true.
also like Joe skis. So like it was like me and nobody else. Like it was
That's true.
Everybody else all morning, afternoon. Like if I wanted to meet that, I was like, I didn't want to wake up early, but then I got to get my own way to the lodge, and they all took the cars because they're all skiing. You know, you just kind of feel left out.
That is a good point.
I'm surprised you don't ski. I feel like you would have.
No, because I'm just not. My what?
Your siblings?
JB can ski. JB skis. Gia does not.
Interesting.
I can't remember the last time Gia skied. She may claim she can ski, but my parents were never skiers. And I did it. I did it a couple years ago with Joe's family, because then I was like, you know what? This is not like with a group of my peers who have all been skiing for a long, long time. This is with his nieces who are little, and I should be able to ski at a level that I could hopefully keep up with them in that kind of sense. Like a family trip, I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Skiing with all my friends who are like really good, and I just hold them all back, or like they're watching me, or I'm afraid I'm gonna fucking break my leg, then like no need.
Yeah, I went on a ski trip a couple years ago, and I skied, and I hated it so much.
Like if you know you're not gonna
like down
it.
the mountain, and honestly, I'm scared of skiing. I'm not afraid to admit that I am afraid of skiing.
It's a scary sport.
I think it's dangerous if you're not good.
Yeah.
I think you have to be good at it, or else it's dangerous.
Definitely.
My siblings actually are good skiers. Weirdly enough, my parents never skied.
Interesting.
But my siblings can ski.
And do they actively go still?
My sister used to go more often because her husband is a really good skier.
Okay,
and
that's right.
His family loves skiing.
Yeah.
And so she started to get good at it. And I think my brother, is just an athletic guy. Like, he could pick up skiing.
Yeah.
Me, no. I also went skiing one time as a kid with my brother and two of my cousins who are like almost like they're like pro level skiers. My Baba skis like every weekend in the winter.
Wow.
This man's 86 years old. He still is skiing on the weekends. It's insane. So you would think maybe the skiing gene would be passed on to me, but it is not. It is not. I went as a kid and I didn't like it, and then one more time a couple of years ago, and I didn't like it again, and so I've retired the skiing.
You're not a cold weather athlete.
No, I'm a warm weather. Put me on a jet ski. Put me. I would even try one of those wakeboarding things. But
really?
I would try it.
The wakeboard. I know, yeah.
But I feel like it's equally as dangerous. Like,
yes, but at least you're in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
God, that let me tell you something. That shit is hard.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
That is. I've tried to do that. We tried to do that. Not the ones. Wakeboarding is when you're. I don't really know the different term, but like the one where your legs are literally like strapped into the board. That's different. We didn't try that. We just tried where you like literally had your bare feet on a board and you're being pulled up into the lake. Impossible. Impossible.
I would prefer to be strapped in because I wouldn't want the board to come flying at my head.
Yes.
Thinking about all these things
But when
that
you
could
surf,
happen.
you're not strapped in because then like if a wave crashes,
Right.
Like,
No, but that's
That's true,
different.
different.
Surfing is
I'm just saying
surfing's an entirely
picture.
different ballgame.
of me when I got a concussion snowboarding when I was like a kid in the hospital.
That's so sad. You look so sad.
Oh my goodness.
In my head.
Look, is that real hair on your head?
Yeah, I had,
Oh my God,
I had
you have
long hair.
quite the head of hair.
You look like you're wearing a wig.
Luscious.
I had
Elvis.
Justin Bieber hair when I was in middle school.
My goodness.
Oh,
Look like Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yeah, I was bleeding from my forehead.
See, dangerous.
Yeah,
Who knows
yeah.
what's to happen? But
Yeah, it is, especially when you don't know what you're doing, and there are a lot of people that don't know what they're doing because like they just jump onto skis and are like, I can do this.
I think the
It's
scariest.
like you got to like commit to like a lesson or trying. You know,
I think the scariest part of skiing is the ski lift. Like,
that is true.
Getting off the ski lift.
That is true.
I fell.
Yeah.
Like there, it's not
Yeah,
graceful.
you got to get on the gondola.
Yeah, it's all intimidating to me.
Yeah, I mean, getting in and out of skis, nothing's graceful. Nothing is graceful unless you're really good and
Maybe you
and
guys
you
are
glide down
snowboarders.
that mountain.
No, I don't even want to be walking around in a big snowsuit like that. I don't.
Oh, I think it's cute though if you get a cute one.
Yeah, it's cute, like
Yeah.
for pictures, but I don't want to be walking around doing it. You know, like I want to put it on and look cute, peace signs up, and
Yeah.
then head on home and drink the hot cocoa.
I feel like I wish I gave snowboarding a try.
I switched from skiing to snowboarding when I was like in 8th grade, I think.
Yeah, so did Joe.
That's a
Joe
mature choice.
It
Snowboards
was just
now
a cool
too.
thing to do.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I snowboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go like this?
Yeah.
I used to say dude so much. I was like such a snowboarder. I mean, I went to camp for
Snowboarding?
snowboarding for 2 years, for 2 summers.
Yeah, remember
Extreme.
Cool.
the videos of him practicing his jumps
Oh,
in the
right,
in the gym?
Oh yeah.
In the school
Oh well,
gym?
that's how this whole conversation is how you found out
This
about
is
my
how we
dance
got
video,
to the
right?
dance video.
Oh, right.
Because you showed us the clip that you had posted of you practicing your snowboarding jumps
Yeah. And
when you
then-
were like in a gymnastics gym, like jumping into like the foam
and you saw
pit.
the YouTube handle.
And we saw the other
Snowboarder,
yeah,
dancer, dance video to never be revealed.
extraordinaire.
Yeah, you really have put your hands on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Renaissance man.
You are the definition
Some might
of a
say.
2024 Renaissance man. Do you ever? This is off different topic.
Yeah,
but
moving on.
moving on. Do you ever hear your parents say something and you're like, that is why I am the way that I am?
Yeah, all the time.
I had that moment this past weekend with my dad. We were talking about what my parents are going to be called when they're
grandparents. Yeah.
You want to be called grandma and grandpa? You want to be called nonna? My dad is not a nonno, but like,
No.
mom, do you want to be called nonna?
Yeah, right.
And my great grandpa on my dad's side we called Baba, and then my grandpa we call Baba.
Yeah.
These are on my dad's side.
Yeah.
So I was like, Dad, would you want to be
Wanna be
called
Baba?
Baba?
Right,
Like,
right.
because
Pass it down.
carry the lineage.
Yep.
And he was like quiet, and he was like, I don't know. And I was like, why? What
He
happened?
wants his own thing.
No. He said, and this is why I was like, maybe this is where my memory comes from. Because this man is 58, 59 years old.
Yeah.
I forget. He's not 60 yet, though.
That one you would remember.
I would remember
Yep.
that. Said that when he was in like 2nd grade, like all of a sudden I was like, oh my, this is why. This is why I am the way I am.
Yep.
He goes in 2nd grade and he named some kid. He said, my dad was saying, oh, I'm going to my nanny and Baba's house this weekend. And the kid said to him, Baba? What's a Baba? And like completely ripped him apart. And he was like, I was so embarrassed that I called my grandpa Baba. And it has stuck with me for so long. And I was like,
Oh my
in that
God,
moment,
really
I was
is.
like, that
you
is
are me, I am you.
Yeah, like, wow. stories from my childhood that'll just come out of the woodwork that stick with me. And I was like, man, they're going to stick with me until I'm 60, huh?
I'm surprised that story, that event in his life didn't stop you guys from calling your grandpa Baba.
I know.
Like I could see him being like, I didn't want to pass that embarrassment onto you guys to have a moment like that.
Right.
Just to like change.
And I totally feel him though, because every time I call my grandpa Baba, I have to explain, it's my grandpa, but we call him Baba because somebody called him Baba. And I just looked at him and I said, man, that is why my memory does these things to me, where I will remember the smallest event from when I'm a child and it haunts me.
You hold on to it
and
for
I
a
hold
long
on
time.
to it throughout my entire life. And I'm going to be 60 years old talking about my 6th grade boyfriend IMing another girl. Like, that's just going to stick with me. Yeah. And it is what it is. We are our parents. Yep. At the end of the day, that is where we come from.
Have they landed on names?
No, my mom went back and forth between like Nana and Grandma. I think she's going to go Grandma. Yeah. I've really said, though, when this baby comes out, he may call you whatever he wants to call you, and that's what it's going to go
That
with.
also happens.
I did send her a sign.
Or sometimes names change.
Right, they could. I sent her a sign to hang up that says, if you're looking for Grandma, she's at the casino. And she loved that. So I think that, like, she was like, Grandma.
Yeah.
My dad was like, I really, like, it's up to him. Like, he was like, I don't care. Whatever he calls me. Right. So we'll see.
That is
going to take a little while to find out.
Because, like, Mima was not always Mima.
Really?
She started off with a different name because me and my siblings called her Grandma Gogo.
Oh.
Gogo.
Whoa.
Her name's Gloria.
Whoa.
Yeah. Gogo.
What a spin.
I know. And I think once my cousins came around, it just
they changed. They didn't want to stick with Gogo?
They changed to Mima. Yeah. I think it was my cousins. We didn't change it.
Oh my God. Yeah. You guys didn't hold your own? Like, we're going to call her Gogo?
I think I was like 6 or 7.
Right.
Like, I think I wasn't, right. Like, I wasn't like, what? We're calling her a different name? I don't even remember. But there's like old home videos of when she'd just be at our house and we were just calling her Gogo. And that changed.
Weird.
I know, right? Totally different person.
That is totally different.
Yeah.
Grandma Gogo is totally different than Mima.
Well, can you also see, like,
I could.
Because when this was, she was a young grandma and my mom, so like my mom had me, Mima was, I think, 36. She was young. Definitely maybe like early 60s, like maybe late 50s. And she was like, she wanted a hip, cool grandma name.
Right. That's what they want when they're at this age.
Yes. You should hear my mom. I asked her over Florida just because we were talking about this conversation.
What did she?
And I was like, what do you think you're going to want to be? She was like, I don't know. And I was like, Grandma, just to see which, because she was like, no, I am not Grandma.
I know. So I feel like people think Grandma sounds old because it's like Grandma. But my mom looks so fucking young. Like, every time I see my mom, she looks younger. Yeah. And she's like literally aging
I have no
backwards.
Issue with Grandma.
So that's why I'm like, you know what? If she has no issue with Grandma, I got no issue with Grandma. Yeah. I'm good. I already know my sister, like, this kid's going to be calling me Riri. Because that's what my siblings called me. And on my sister sent me a baby shower invite just to save. And it just said, like, Aunt Riri. Yeah. Like, this, Riri's
Aunt Riri is very easy.
Easy for.
That's like, weird comparison, but it's like the Kardashians, like Khloe's Coco, Like,
it's just easy.
Yeah, easy. Riri.
Yeah. I'm so excited, though. Last thing I wanted to bring up, because I saw it on Instagram earlier. Did you guys go on Omegle when you were kids?
Yeah, totally.
Like, so creepy when you think about it.
Yeah,
what
that
we used
was
to do.
Something that, yeah.
Like, you would go on Omegle. Noah, did you go on Omegle?
No.
You didn't?
No.
I think it was maybe a girl did. You would see guys jerking off.
Yep.
What?
It was like a thrill because
it was a random video chat
and you would just click next.
I see this on TikTok now sometimes of like people doing it.
It was like you would have your friends over, sleep over, and you'd go on Omegle, be like, you try and fit like 7 girls in the little camera frame, and you would just go through and like it would literally just be
That
old
seems
gross
dangerous.
guys.
And it would just it was dangerous, and guys would just be jerking off, and it was like a coming of age thing, because you were like, you didn't want to see it, but you did. You know what I mean? Like, you were intrigued, or at least
Like,
I was.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah, like, right. Like, I was intrigued every time I saw a guy. Like, I would scream. I'd be like, ah!
Yeah.
And, like, but then I'd, like, slowly click next. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just were
This is how you got your whole computer, like, hacked.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I mean.
me and you could not be more different. Like, true. Like, I was the friend that, like, saw a peak and then, like, ran in the corner and was, like, actually mad, being like, turn that off. Be like, what's wrong with you freaks?
I could
turn
see
that off.
Yeah. It's, you know, like, you're coming of age.
No, but it had like a chat feature,
right,
which
which
message
is so
with the people.
dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
Thinking about it as a
I
kid.
know.
Do you remember the first time you saw porn online?
No.
I remember mine so vividly. So I was going on YouTube and I typed in YouTube wrong by accident, slip of the finger, and a porn site came up. YouTube, like, it was like
The letter U.
yeah. And I, you know, when you're typing
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
and it came up, and I was like, and then I invited all my friends over and showed them. I
Wait,
was
did
like,
you
guys,
know, like, what porn was? Were you like, what is this?
well, like, I figured it out then.
Yeah.
Like, I had
you
heard,
see the video.
you know, I heard rumblings about porn, but I didn't know really. Like, I had never seen anything, and it was just a slip of the finger, came up on my family computer, and then I proceeded to invite my friends over and show them exactly. I was like, look, if you just type in one letter differently,
Yeah.
this comes up. And it was like my party trick.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Here, guys. Here's how you
Check
get
out all the
porn.
Your
And then
friends
I
are going home being like, Mom, you gotta stop letting me go to Maria's house.
Oh,
You guys were like 8. No, I'm kidding.
No. This was like, I remember this was like 7th grade.
Yeah,
6th or 7th grade.
That sounds about right.
Right. And
When
then
you're just on the computer.
You're on the computer, slip
I
of the
feel
finger.
like I was so sheltered that I don't think I saw anything or came across anything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But like, definitely on the shared computer saw shit that like JB was looking at. You know?
Classic. Yeah.
It was like a little brother thing.
That was
Yeah.
my
like, I
biggest
guess, or
fear,
older
though.
brother, little brother. Like, if you
Yeah.
have a brother in general, but like, I think I'm like, you know, 16, JB's like 14. Like,
Yeah.
you know, who knows what he's searching on the internet. I feel like that's
Exactly.
when I first was like, this history is
I was
questionable.
so paranoid about clearing the history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my brother one time, like, running downstairs after being on his computer in his room, being like, I randomly came across this virus. And I was like, all right,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all know
Yep.
you randomly came
Yep.
across this virus, big bro. I also had older siblings, so I think
Yeah.
that's why I probably saw things sooner. Because I remember my sister and her friends talking about Farrah Abraham's sex tape, Backdoor Teen Mom. And that was like the first sex tape I ever saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting times is when you're growing up as a kid, figuring things out.
Omegle was really something
Really
that we
dangerous.
probably
It's still around, right?
should not have
I
been
think
on.
so. No, definitely we should not have been on that.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
But isn't it just like proof that every generation has their thing, you know?
Mhm.
Like, we harp on the young kids now on social media and everything that they're exposed
Right.
to, and it's just like kids find a way
Yeah,
just to see shit.
right. And
know?
also, like, none of us have had an original experience.
Yeah.
You know, like, we all were on Omegle,
Yeah.
clicking. Oh,
Yeah. I
Gross
mean,
out thinking about
TikTok
it.
is different, obviously, when
Yeah.
you're like, we weren't staring at phones when we were like 8 years old, but you know.
mm-hmm.
The Sephora culture I've been seeing discussed on TikTok all over the place these days, and it is crazy. Gia and I went to the mall in Florida over the holidays, and we like popped into a bunch of different stores, and then Gia was like, "Oh, let's just go." She's like, I just want to pop into Sephora quick." Sure. We walk to the Sephora. We stop outside the doors. We look inside. We were like, no, we're not going in there. No way. There was maybe 50 plus 11 to 14-year-olds running around, buying makeup, throwing shit in their bags, like trying shit on. I was like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Like, it's just shit that they do not need.
No.
And so much. I saw this girl went viral on TikTok. She was like a Sephora employee talking about this girl and mom, and I think her sister was also in the store, and she went up to the register, and long story short, she had $900 worth of stuff, and the mom was like, you need to take one thing out.
Oh my God.
And the daughter was like, no. She's like, you can't make me, like, no. And they went back and forth until finally she had to take one more thing out, and then the daughter said to the mom, but you better not make me take out one more thing.
Oh,
and the mom just bought her all the stuff.
That's insane. Like, I cannot imagine living, like, growing up like that. Like,
Can you imagine, like, looking at an 11-year-old and being like, yeah, I'll totally buy you every product line that Drunk Elephant has for something that you don't have. And honestly, probably, I'm no scientist, but it probably makes you age faster.
Probably, because you probably shouldn't be using that skincare at that young of an age.
No.
My sister was getting her makeup done by a makeup artist before her baby shower last weekend, and she was talking about how she has a 10-year-old daughter who has been begging for her for Drunk Elephant products. And I'm like, they're seeing this online. And then my mom was like,
it's like, how do they even know that this exists?
No, it's TikTok. And my mom, like, when we were younger, we were not allowed to shop at Sephora or Ulta or any of those things. It was like, I'll take you to Harmon or CVS and like, or you could use one of my products. You can use my blush.
Yep.
Like, it was not like I didn't have a skincare routine until after high school. Like,
100%.
Or like probably not even until in my 20s.
Yeah. I don't think until I really got into doing stuff until I was like 24-ish.
I don't even know if I washed my face in high school.
Yeah.
Like, thinking back, like,
no.
I used like cold cream. If I wore makeup, I would just use cold cream and then like get in the shower and like wash my face with a Dove soap bar.
I think for like anytime growing up, especially once I started wearing makeup, it was like a face wipe, get it all off. Wash my face with friggin' whatever's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, whatever's there. I don't
like,
care.
even hand soap.
And moisturizer. I think that was like it. Like, I had those Aveeno tube face moisturizers. And that's all. That's it. And now these 10-year-olds are like, they need everything in Sephora.
Like, why does a 10-year-old need like niacinamide or like vitamin C? Like,
They don't.
Like, that's gonna ruin your skin.
They don't. I don't know. That's what
in
I'm
my
saying.
opinion. I mean, I'm not a scientist.
Not a scientist.
Right.
But
I'm not an esthetician.
It just
here.
feels like it's leading these girls down a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
Of how if you're looking at your face when you're, and of course a lot of the reasoning is just because, oh well, Sammy has it, so I want it. Like, it's like, now instead of cool electronics, when we would have like we go to the toy store and we want like cool toys,
Tamagotchi,
or we want like the diary that fucking voice locks, they go into Sephora and that's what they want because they like all their friends have it. But it's that's different. But I'm thinking of like an 11-year-old girl like looking at her face in the mirror and being like, oh, like, I really need some new under eye cream. It's like, what?
It's crazy. And it's probably because they're watching a lot of influencers who are older who are using these things, and they just don't understand, like, they're older and, you know, they can use it, but you are 10 years old and you shouldn't be using it. Like, it's wild.
I know.
And
even
also
older than that, even like the 13-year-old, I think it's just not necessary.
I think it's becoming harder to
money. Like, Sephora is so expensive.
It really is so expensive. I saw Sarah Foster post an Instagram story last week about her
daughter. She's always very funny about this stuff.
About how she was listening to her daughter and her friends talk about a situation at school where one of the kids in the class was like doing something wrong, and the teacher like yelled at the student, and this student, the 13-year-old student, said back to her like, you disrespected me. And like all the kids in the class were like on the student's side, being like, the teacher disrespected her. And it's like, wait a second. Yeah. Like, what world are we living in now that you don't listen to it? Like, I cannot imagine having the balls to go home to my parents as a kid and be like, that teacher really disrespected me. In my parents' eyes, the teacher was always right. Yeah. Like, it was like, if you are in trouble for something or if you are doing bad in school, like, you know what I mean? Yep. Like, it was never like, we're going to trust you immediately. It was like, we're going to listen to what your teacher has to say and then we'll talk, you know? So I don't know what's going on, but I was like, that's crazy to think about, like a 13-year-old being like, you disrespected me and you're really rude to a teacher. Like, a teacher, you know, can, you know, I think disrespect you.
It's
like, they
crazy.
have to teach you. Yeah. Like, they're a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disrespect might be the wrong word to use, but like, you know what I mean? Reprimand.
Yeah.
Yell at you if you're doing something, discipline you if you're doing something wrong. Yeah. Apparently they're not allowed to do that these days.
Nope.
Can't take away phones or like all that stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, if I even, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was like I murdered somebody if I had my phone in my pocket at school.
Times have changed.
Yeah, they have. All right. Time to get into pop culture topics. Yeah. We're going to be talking about Selena Gomez. She announces that she is going on a social media break and then posts on Instagram 18 hours later. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part one has been released. And Travis Barker's ex-wife, Shanna Mokler, has now talked about Travis Barker's little, you know, thing with Kim Kardashian years ago. She does have a lot to say. And we have an interview with Larsa Pippen.
And trivia.
And some trivia. So let's get into some topics. No matter where you're headed this winter, find your look at Macy's. Whether you are going on a ski trip, you know, maybe you want some nice turtlenecks, maybe you want to keep cozy, maybe you want some comfy pajamas to snuggle in your cabin or your lodge or your house, wherever you're staying. Or if you're going on a tropical vacation and you need a nice little sundress that you want to try on, you can find your look at Macy's. Macy's really has it all. They cover it all. They got shoes, they got jewelry, they have clothing items, sunglasses, everything top to bottom. You can find your look at Macy's. For even more inspo and must-haves of the season, you could check out Macy's.com/ownyourstyle. I am, you know, maybe going on a little tropical vacay in a couple weeks from now, and I am going to look on Macy's for, like I said, a nice little sundress, maybe a little cover-up that I could wear on the beach and find my inspo and style for that trip and for this season at Macy's. And if you need a little help finding your style footing, you can work with one of their personal stylists to put together a fabulous look that you love. Best of all, it's totally free, so head on over to Macy's.com/personal-stylist to book your appointment today. Or if you want to find your inspo and must-haves of the season, like I said, go to Macy's.com/ownyourstyle. Macy's, they have it all. They have you covered. So get your must-haves there this season. Macy's.com/ownyourstyle. So after all that unfolded at the Golden Globes and online on social media, Selena Gomez took her 58th social media break this year, announcing to the world she's going to focus on the things that really matter. Video of Benny Blanco and some kids, and said she will be taking a break from social media. She also said this 2 weeks ago. She said it 2 weeks before that. She said it 2 weeks before that. I don't believe you.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm like, I don't know why I'm like more sensitive to this when it comes to like people, because it was like, now everyone's like, oh my God, you posted not a social media break. But she posted, like, the post was, hey, Gordon Ramsay's on my show. Like, somebody posted that for her, you know, like Selena Gomez is so famous, and she has also gone through stints where she hasn't been on any social media, but her account has been somewhat active because she has a fucking assistant or somebody posting, like, she's not certainly she has a lot to say when she is on it herself, you know, like you can tell when it's her. I feel like you can tell when she's posting and commenting and doing stuff. And then like when there's just a screenshot from her show that's like, hey, tune in to the new episode of this with Gordon Ramsay this week. It's like, well, that wasn't her posting is how I would see that. So I think like the headlines that are like, she breaks her social media break.
But that's
isn't she's not. She could be off Instagram still personally. It's just her account is still active.
But I think it is because she doesn't have to announce that if it's still going to be active with other things. Like it could just be like ads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the announcing it and then she's back. Like this isn't, even if this isn't her, this isn't the first time that she's going to take a social media break and then the next day is commenting on something.
Yeah.
That's why people don't believe it, because this isn't her first rodeo at doing this. Like she loves doing this. It's like her favorite thing to do is to be like, bye. Oh no, I'm back. It's that popping my head in.
It's that love-hate relationship with social media. Maybe she says it publicly to try and hold herself accountable, and then crumbles. You know,
she crumbles
like
fast.
if I really wanted to take a social media break, and I needed to be held accountable for it, I'd probably post and be like, "I'm taking a break." If you see me post, like yell at me, you know, and then you just come right back on.
And she
you just come
right back in.
Just come right back on. It's addictive. It is addicting, and it is there. But yeah, it's like, I guess it's a clarification that maybe she needs to write like, I'm going on a social media break, asterisk, and then there's some fine print down below on the story that says, I will not be the one posting, but there will be somebody posting for me. If you ever see an ad or a preview for a show that I am on, it is not me. It is somebody that works for me.
Yeah, I will be promoting Rare Beauty and Selena and Chef.
Yep.
And it's not actually me, but go watch. I don't know. She gets muddy. She gets into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We didn't even talk about the fact that she said she told Taylor that she went up to tell them about two friends hooking up. That's what she said.
Right. And
fair.
It was just funny to think about it being Meryl Streep and Martin Short. Like, she's at the table and she's like, yo, Meryl and Martin, there is some chemistry.
Yep.
I heard they hooked up.
Yep.
And then Kelly's like, with Meryl? No.
And now, of course, like some people don't believe what Selena said, and some people do. But if you do want to go off of what she said, super normal thing to do, you know. Like I said in video on Chicks in the Office, it's like we can't lose the art of something happening in your friend group or two of your friends hooking up and not running to tell everyone you know immediately.
100%. We can't lose
that.
The art of gossip.
No.
Because this started happening on TikTok too. Remember that TikTok that went viral of that girl being like, I was at lunch and I heard two girls sitting next to me talking about their friend, and none of the people were on her side. They were like, bitch, don't snitch.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yep. No, yes. And sometimes
if you hear something really hot and juicy off the press,
keep it to yourself.
I mean, no, like you're
listening.
But I'm saying as a friend, and you're
yes.
You're like, you have that one friend that you tell everything to, you know?
Yep.
You're like, okay, I won't tell anybody, but I will tell that one friend.
Yeah.
You know, that I tell everything to, and then say I said I wouldn't tell anybody.
Yep.
I feel like it's
just life.
It's the way us girls work.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's nothing, you know, Selena was like, not that it's anybody's business. And she's right. It is nobody's business what they were all saying.
It was nobody's business, but it was Selena's business to tell.
Like, it's just when we see shit on camera like that, whispers, shocked faces, our love for the gossip comes out. We're all nosy. What could they have said?
Yeah.
We need to know.
Right.
It was just right in our face. It's anything that's teased like that, it's like, damn,
like you were right. Like if somebody just was a little closer.
We're just right there on the outside. One more step and we could be on the inside.
Right, like you see it and you're like, they're just like us.
Yep. So, you know, if we go off what Selena said, she was just filling them in on some inter-friendship gossip, Or if you don't believe what Selena said and they were talking about something entirely different, who knows?
Yeah, I believe that was thrown into the conversation at some point.
Yeah. Another thing with Selena Gomez was that she did it was announced that she's cast as Linda Ronstadt in a biopic, which is a great role.
Yeah.
Like, that's an iconic person. It's a big shoes to fill. Like, that's a big job for Selena.
Mm-hmm. And they look a lot like, I think people were just the similarities. It was like a really good casting.
Yep.
Selena had posted on her story reading a book about her. I don't know if it was her, you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember exactly what the book was.
It was like a book by her or if it was a book about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Selena had posted that, so people were like, oh, is she hinting to this? And then Rolling Stone announced it. So Selena is booked and busy, and, you know, we'll see her back on social media tomorrow.
Yep. Probably.
Moving on. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, part one. Listen, everybody wants to get to part 3 quick.
Yeah.
That's where the juiciest parts of the reunion happen.
Or maybe sometimes part 2.
Which is my biggest...
End of part 2, beginning of part 3.
Right, but then you're on the edge of your seat for part 2, and then you're like, get me to part 3. This is my only gripe with Bravo, is how long it takes for things to come out.
Yeah.
Put it out on one night. We will watch. I will watch for 3 hours.
Or just like cut out the stuff that nobody cares about, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no offense to some of the cast members who want to talk about like certain plot lines that went on during the season. Skip it. Skip it.
And they feel like they don't have to. And I remember Lala talking about this when the Vanderpump reunion was happening last season. She was like, you know, other things happened this season that we want to talk about. It's like,
yeah, you want to talk about it, but we don't want to hear it.
We want the juice, you know?
Yeah.
We want the meat and cheese in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, let's get to the point here. So I still found this to be interesting, and Monica scares me. Monica scares me.
Yeah, she's intense. And she and it's happened all season, but she will go at you. Like, she gets loud fast.
Mm-hmm. Listen, they all scare me.
Yeah.
Actually.
And they all get loud fast. Not all of them get loud fast.
If I'm being completely honest,
Lisa gets loud fast.
Yeah, they all scare me. But there's something behind those eyes.
Right. Well, there's a lot of potential plotting, and I will say though that clip that Heather played of her being like, Kim Kardashian started as an assistant, blah blah blah, like, I don't think that hit as hard as Heather thought it was going to hit. That proves that she like plotted to be on the show from being an assistant. I don't know, it's just like, I think it just proved that she wanted to be like famous, or not famous, but like,
I thought that it was
climb the ladder.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think climbing the ladder then means like maybe being on the show.
Yeah, I just, maybe because she didn't like actually mention the show as much, that it was like, it was just such a very short clip. I wish there was more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think just in general, like, she wanted to be on the show. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know if that clip necessarily, but I think it does kind of feed into like, when she was asked, hey, did you become an assistant because you wanted? She said no, and then she listened to the clip. Yeah. The clip said, I became an assistant so that I can, use it as a stepping stone. It's like, okay, well, you did.
Right.
And
but you can do that for like any business. Any business.
I think that there is, in terms of this, I don't know, but like, people use things as stepping stones to get to a higher position in life, in business, for jobs. Everybody wants to get to a higher degree of their job.
Now, for the other women, like, they might feel creeped out by it because it could come across a little stalkerish, I guess. Like, if they're kind of saying, oh, she would drive by Jen's house and like do all this stuff, like, then yeah, it's like, oh, what do you want to like wear my skin? Like, what do you want to like be? Like, but I think she just wanted the fame, wanted the recognition, wanted to be on the show and have that.
And I'll say
I don't even know the word clout, I guess.
You can tell she really did, because the way that she talked to Angie and was like bench warming bitch, it's like, oh, you're like really excited to be sitting in that seat right now.
Yep.
And I don't know if you should be really proud of why you're sitting in that seat.
Right.
But she
giving her that chair was really like endorsing what she did, you know?
Yeah. And I understand that doing criminal acts is really, it's really bad, right? Like, it's really bad. But there is something really devious about what she was allegedly doing, you know?
Yep. They showed a screenshot of the real email that she sent to casting, and she claimed that was not the whole, like, I think online she claimed that was not the whole email, but, you're not going to win Andy over by being like, I said that this show sucks and the ratings were in the toilet and I needed to come in. It's like, well, okay. Yeah. In his face, like, he was like, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they showed the screenshot of her being like, hey, if you need somebody with some, what did she say? Like Latin flair. Like, she's like, I'm your girl. Like, I'm on it. So
happy to be there. Like, Andy was like, did the ratings stink? Like, he was taken back by that.
Right. But now it's just like it turns into a competition of like, who's the better housewife, right? It's like, Monica's like, I applied just like all of you guys, and all the other, they're like, I didn't apply. Like,
I was referred.
I was actually referred, or I was actually friends, and they wanted me to be on the show. It's like, all right, this is a slippery slope.
At the end of the day, you're all here.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you are all on the show.
Right. No matter how you got there. And listen, I don't really trust any of them, to be completely honest. I don't. Like, I think they're all hiding something.
Yeah.
I don't trust Monica. I don't know if I trust Heather. Like, I'm seeing online that Heather, like, knew about things for years. And, I don't know.
I think they all have secrets.
They all have their secrets.
They all have secrets.
On
they
like
all
a different
probably,
level of other housewife franchises.
Yeah, they all probably agree that they don't want certain things to say.
Maybe it's a Utah thing.
Yeah, Salt Lake City is a funky place.
It might be the religion. Yeah. It might be, there's different layers to why people hide different things on that show.
And it does feel like there's a lot of secrets kept out there. And sometimes I think like that happens when you're in a place where there like is more constraints, or like there's a lot more people breaking the rules and keeping it hush hush, trying to keep it hush hush.
Right.
Like my friends and I were actually debating this the other day, because we were talking about Salt Lake City, and my friend Jen was like, well, what's the, like, these ladies all don't mesh in my mind. Like, and I'm like, well, what compared to the other, like, they're all freaks. Like, they're all, like, that's just the way the show, I was like, that's what bonds them, I think, and just like, we were going city by city. It's like, oh, like Miami. It ended up being where we were like, I was like, Jen, you're saying the theme for each show is the city that they're from, like that's, and I was like, I think it just proves that Salt Lake City is maybe it's just funky place,
this city,
and they obviously can't get the like extremely Mormon people on a show like this. It's like the people that are either 1 foot in or have left or are adjacent, and it's a different story. I'm like, I just think that's just Salt Lake City, and the desire to. It seems like the desire in Salt Lake City of people that are adjacent to these women, like, want to be on the show so bad compared to other places, other franchises. Like, of course, friends of, come on, and you're like, okay, desperate, you're really trying to have your 5 seconds, like, you want to be on the show. But Salt Lake City felt like that's been more intense, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think, there is a difference between, and Andy did talk about this with Monica, that she maybe doesn't have as big of a house and these things that the other women have. And that is where I can defend Monica, where the conversation, even on the show or off the show, about like her house and what it looks like and other things, is where I'm just like not a fan of. Like, we don't need to like tear her down for like what she has material wise.
And I would love to see more realistic human beings on these shows. Like, some of these ladies are so, like, Lisa Barlow to me is just so like out of reality sometimes that I just can't. And she, even as she was yelling, she's like, just because like doesn't mean I can't be relatable to like the middle class, like blah blah blah. Whatever. I was like, you're not relatable
to the middle class.
You're not
at all,
and you don't act like you are, and you don't want to be, and that's okay.
You don't have to
just own that you don't want to be that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I think when people own it, it's better than pretending to be like you can.
Right.
Because you're not, and we all know it.
It like, almost felt like she was, I thought she was going to try and like get into it with Monica when Monica was like, and I'm like, sorry for calling you the 1%. Like, you're not the 1%. Like, I almost felt like Lisa's face like dropped as she was like, she's like, oh, whoa, what are you not calling me wealthy? Like, I am wealthy.
Right, like she didn't want to be called wealthy, but then did want to be called it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, all right, just decide. Like, you're on Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that you are a very, very wealthy person.
Yeah.
Own that. Do not try to be relatable to the middle class, because you are not.
Right. To be like, the ring was actually $58,000, not $60,000. Just that doesn't help your case.
It's almost like, and I'll bring this up with, Larsa, when she comes on the Miami episode, where she was like, I don't think my kids are privileged. Right. And Marcus was like, no, they are.
No,
like,
they are, yeah.
They take and I think one of the producers was like, they fly private, Larsa. Like, it's just, don't be delusional here. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. That part was like, okay, stop trying to be something that you're not, and like you said, don't want to be.
Yep.
You don't want to be that. So I think it'll get more interesting as the second parts come on.
We haven't even really dipped our toes into any of the reality Monty stuff.
Andy did preview. He was like, do any of you feel differently about Monica now after this?
Right,
so I feel like after the reunion, so I feel like maybe we learned something that, I don't know, maybe, maybe something, because I did see that a couple of them refollowed her. So maybe she reveals that somebody else was involved that's sitting on those couches, because I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else sitting there like secretly has been holding on to this.
Or if she like tries to prove that it was like
not,
she was really coming for Jen and not them. Right. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. We will see. But so far they all kind of scare me.
Yep.
Moving on to the last topic that we have. Travis Barker's ex, Shanna, was talking about their relationship, which she does, every so often, every couple of months, we see her talking about something with their relationship. And she brought up the conversation about Kim Kardashian and Travis Barker, which is a conversation that has been brought up many a times before, because Travis Barker revealed in his book that he did have a crush on Kim Kardashian when he was seeing Paris Hilton. Shanna said that she found text messages between Kim Kardashian and Travis Barker where they were planning to meet up at one of the sisters' houses and fuck. Shanna then said she called Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian said, I don't like white guys. And this is the story that
Shanna is telling.
This is the story that Shanna is telling.
On her, it's her podcast, right? Dumb Blondes. Is that her show? Her Dumb Blonde podcast. Oh no, it's not hers. She's a guest on the show Dumb Blonde, which came out yesterday. Her Side of the Story is what it's called. Shanna Moakler, Her Side of the Story. Bunny welcomes the gorgeous Shanna Moakler to the show this week. She's not just a pop culture icon, but truly embodies the essence of being unbothered. Shanna takes us on her journey, has she gotten to the world of pageantry, modeling, and acting, and eventually found her way to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Get ready for some real talk as Shanna opens up about everything from the lawsuit with Trump, her relationships with Oscar De La Hoya and Travis Barker, and where things stand with her family today. So some of the clips that have made it into the press were obviously that one. That we're still talking about that, which I gotta say, like, that's gotta be incredibly frustrating for Courtney. It's like, can we just stop talking about this?
At this point, I think we all need to accept that at one point in time, Travis Barker was trying to fuck Kim Kardashian.
Right. Had a crush on her.
And, you know, Kourtney and Kim are sisters and they do look alike. And maybe Kourtney's personality fit with Travis's more. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they're in love and they're married and they just had a baby. And Hollywood is a weird world. And they may be okay with that.
Shanna's claiming that she and Travis never recovered from the drama with Kim, which contributed to their split.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like to find that out information, if that is true, that they got divorced because Travis Barker wanted to fuck Kim Kardashian and now he's married to Kourtney Kardashian. Yeah. If that is true, is wild.
Yeah.
Now that is wild. But Shanna's always saying a lot of things publicly, and she may just be, you know, who knows? Who knows if this is true, or who knows if she's just salty about what has come, that he has moved on and seems to be very happy in his new relationship. That could also be a strong possibility. They never play into anything she says, and I think it's for a reason.
Right. They've never really addressed any, like, she's constantly talking, I feel like. And they have not given it 1 second of energy, which is probably the best way to do
I think it's probably the best for them, and also maybe the best for her to maybe move on.
Right. Shanna also claimed that she caught Travis with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh.
He was living the rock star life, she said. We always came back to each other. Despite their issues, Shanna shared that she wanted to make it work for the family. I was so in love with him. She said, I wanted my children to see their mother and father in love. So
I think that Shanna is holding on to something with Travis Barker that does not exist anymore for Travis.
Yeah, I also think she really goes hard on the Kardashians too, because she clearly has some resentment towards them about how her, like, the family dynamic is, because I think people shit on her as a mom and she then fires back at them because feels like it's all like coming from their side and the ideas that they put out there.
Or maybe because they share when they're with the kids more than she does.
Right.
Like, I'm sure she does see her kids, and
I don't know if she does.
Or maybe she doesn't.
They like,
maybe they choose not to see her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it's not posted on social media.
Yeah.
But
she called them a media machine, the Kardashians. She said, while recalling their estrangement, her and her kids, because she made headlines in 2021 when Alabama and Landon took to social to share that Shanna wasn't currently in their lives. Shanna said she felt like, quote, parental alienation began with Landon in Alabama when Barker started dating Kourtney. That shit was all getting played out in the press. Kardashian family's a media machine. I just got fucking hammered and bullied, she said, and over my fucking kids. Who does that to someone with their own children? Fuck you, that family. Calls the famous family disgusting, noting that she would never want to know them. I'm tired of people shitting on me. I don't have to like that fucking family. I'm not afraid of them and I don't like them. I removed myself. I took a step back.
Sheesh.
I know. She also said that she feels like they have... She accused Kourtney of basically... It's the same kind of thing of what I was just saying. But it was like the idea that they've turned her kids against her a little bit. Like she said, Shanna called the Kardashians disgusting, saying, I removed myself so that they couldn't bond over my children hating me. It's just a lot.
A lot to put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, go do what you need to do. When you're ready, I'll be here loving you unconditionally, and I will be here as your mother, and I will wait. And that's what I did. When Travis got with Kourtney, there was some parental alienation going on there, where Travis, even when we weren't together, always wanted to be the, quote, super dad. That he always wanted to be like the best parent.
Is that supposed to be a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? I'm disgusted that he wants to be the best dad for his kids.
Yeah. Yeah. She's saying that, like, oh, the glitz, the glamour of, like, being a part of that family, like, they roped them in, they're buying them expensive gifts, and they're going to all these events and everything. But I'm like, you know, Travis was no schmuck before he met the Kardashians.
Yeah, he was Travis Barker.
You know, like, obviously it's a higher profile, but it's not like Kourtney plucked this guy from obscurity and his children ditched their mother for this famous lifestyle.
Yeah. What if she is just mad about, she clearly hates the Kardashians.
Yeah.
So what if she removed herself from the kids because she couldn't get over the Kardashians, and like that's maybe not something you should do as a mother.
Right. And that's
just a guess because I don't really know for sure. Obviously.
No, and it's like it's a sensitive subject because they're still like young, they're younger kids and have a lot to deal with. But Travis and Kourtney don't pay attention to what Shan is doing. A friend of the couple tells people they're so happy in life right now, as they should be. That's like we said, I don't think she can say whatever she wants. I just don't think that they have any interest in any of it.
She hasn't moved on.
Yeah.
And maybe if she does, she will find peace.
Yeah.
And
a lot to say.
Yeah. All right. That wraps up today's topics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another game of Beat Ria and Fran. This is game number 107. Correct? Yep, there we go. And we are joined by Ella and Maggie. We actually met them at our No Hard Feelings showing in LA a couple months back in June, I think that was. And now they're here to play us.
Just a couple months.
Yeah, sorry, more than a couple months. Half a year. But now they are here to play us in trivia. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Amazing. We're excited. We'll jump right into it. 15 questions. If you get the question right, you get the point. If you get the question wrong, the other team can steal the point. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. Very simple. To determine who goes first, Noah's going to give us a movie. We are going to guess the Rotten Tomatoes critic score of that movie. Whoever's the closest, their team will go first, and everyone gets their own individual guess, and we will alternate guesses. Noah, what is today's movie?
Today's movie is Just My Luck.
Oh.
Lindsay Lohan, Chris
Pine. Yep.
All right, so one of you goes first, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay, Maggie, you can start.
Okay, I'll give it 80.
Wow. All right, I'm going to give it 12.
I'm going to say 30.
I think this is like a devastatingly low. Like, I'm going to say 4.
Ria's the closest. It's 14.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't see it being ranked high. Hey, I like every Lindsay Lohan movie.
I love that movie though.
But I don't know if they're critically acclaimed.
I've never seen
they're
this one.
critically acclaimed in my heart. So, all right.
What do you think Lindsay Lohan's best movie is?
Mean Girls.
Freaky
Parent
Friday?
Trap. The Parent Trap.
I would say Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the Confessions of a Teenage Drama
Herbie
Queen.
Fully Loaded.
Oh God, so many great ones.
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed actress in my mind.
Okay. Question number 1 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Elizabeth from St. Louis. What are the 2 Real Housewives franchises that have been canceled without any sort of reboot?
Dallas and DC? Or does Potomac count as a reboot of DC? No.
No. I think Dallas and
and DC.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Nice.
1-0. Ria and Fran. Question number 2 to Ella and Maggie. Shout out Hallie from Clemson. What song was Beyonce performing when she announced her pregnancy at the 2011 VMAs?
Thoughts, Maggie?
Idea.
I'm not like the biggest Beyonce girl.
I'll just say my favorite Beyonce song, EXO.
Final answer.
Ella, anything?
5 seconds.
Let's go with that.
Incorrect. To Ria and
I
Fran.
think it's Love on Top, and I think we've also had this question before, but
Well,
I'm not
can you
100%
sorry?
No,
sure.
it was a
Can
different question.
you repeat the question?
It's when she announced her pregnancy. What song?
Oh.
The question before that has been used was, what award show was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's Love on Top.
Yeah. Go with that.
Love on Top.
Correct.
Nice.
All right.
Just going through the
2-0.
questions in my head. I mean the songs in my head.
2-0. Ria and Fran. Question number 3 to them. Shout out Mallory from New Jersey. Before Selena Gomez released music as just Selena Gomez, she released music as a band. What did she call it?
Selena Gomez in the Scene.
Yep.
Correct.
I knew that one too. That's
Selena
depressing.
Gomez in the Scene.
Never forget.
I wonder where the scene is these days.
Right?
Okay, 3-0. Ria and Fran. This is to Ellen Maggie. Shout out Morgan. What restaurant does Jim take Lauren to on their first date in the movie Blended?
Never seen that movie.
No, I have no clue, but I feel like we should guess. Like, should we just pick like a?
I think it's like a diner.
Yeah, that's like what it's giving a little bit. Like I feel like we should say like Olive Garden or like something like that.
10 seconds.
Say Olive Garden.
Okay, we're gonna say Olive Garden because we have no clue.
Incorrect.
That is a good guess. It's Hooters.
Final answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Correct. Yeah, you guys were close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen Blended a probably embarrassing amount of times.
It's a good movie. It is a really great movie.
Okay, 4-0. Ria and Fran. This is question number 5 to them. Shout out Haley from London, Ontario. What cast member of Summer House first referred to Hannah and Paige as the Giggly Squad?
Kyle.
I go with that. Kyle.
Correct.
Someone's feeling hot over here in the seats.
Sometimes
Confidence is pouring out of her with these answers.
Sometimes the questions you just know them, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those days.
5-0.
Now I'll probably get none right.
Shout out Elizabeth from St. Louis again. This is to Ella and Maggie. Which Real Housewife has won the Masked Singer?
The what?
The Masked Singer.
What housewife is the question?
I don't know
15
housewives.
seconds.
Should we pick the one?
The only one I know is Lisa Vanderpump.
Like I
But I
guess we
doubt
could
so.
say her. Like
5 seconds.
I don't know if she's ever been a Masked Singer, but we could try it.
No, definitely not.
Time is up.
Okay, we're gonna say Lisa Vanderpump.
Incorrect.
God, that'd be amazing if Lisa Vanderpump won the Masked Singer. Like Candy Burris.
Oh.
Like Candy's like a singer. Who were them are singers?
And I was going to say maybe Lisa Rinna.
No.
Luann.
No, I don't think Luann's
I think we
been
would have
on.
known that.
I think Candy was on.
Okay, we can go with that.
I'll go Candy Burris. Final answer.
Correct. Wow, 6 for 6 right now.
Nice.
Okay, 6-0. I believe in you guys. You're gonna get one.
Yeah, we need
Hopefully, we need someone too.
this is embarrassing.
Okay, there's a lot of game left. Shout out Elizabeth from St. Louis. Again, there's actually a lot. Shout out Elizabeth St. Louis. Just in
Okay,
general.
this is
There's
a big
lot.
Elizabeth game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Put these actresses in order from most to least Oscar nominations.
Ooh.
Emma Stone, Margot Robbie, Saoirse Ronan, Brie Larson.
Most to least.
Most to least.
Okay,
I would
so
say Margot Robbie is the least.
right.
And then I would put the most at Emma Stone. Or maybe Saoirse Ronan.
Maybe.
Who was the other one?
Brie Larson.
Oh.
She definitely has one.
I think it's either Saoirse or
Right,
Emma.
Saoirse, Emma.
Emma definitely was nominated for La La
La
Land.
La Land, but anything else?
But what was Saoirse?
I think Saoirse has multiple.
Multiple?
I would go
Saoirse,
Saoirse,
Time
Emma.
is up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saoirse,
Emma,
Brie,
Margot.
Robbie.
Incorrect.
Oh,
To Ellen Maggie.
Okay,
Oh, God.
so let's take their momentum. I feel like we should switch and say Emma, Saoirse, Brie, Margot.
I agree.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Final answer.
Okay, final answer.
Incorrect.
I forgot about Margot
come
Robbie
on.
getting nominated for I, Tonya. So was Margot Robbie last?
Oh.
No, the order is Saoirse, she has 4.
Yeah, then Emma.
Emma has 3.
Then
Margot
then,
Robbie has
uh,
2.
then-
Margot
Brie.
has 2.
And Brie has
has
1.
Dang.
Brie has 1 for the room, right?
Yeah.
And then
Damn.
Margot
Wait,
Robbie.
was Margot Wolf of Wall Street?
I
Did she
for-
get nominated for that?
No, I think she got nominated
I,
for I,
Tonya.
Tonya, and then that
she got
Queen
nominated
of Scots.
for Best Supporting Actress in 2020. But it
Oh no
doesn't say
no!
what.
That was for the. Was it for the one with the other women who were in it? It was like 3 women that were in it.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yes.
Bombshell.
I didn't realize she got nominated for that. That's kind of crazy.
Is that the Charlize
Bombshell
Theron
is
movie?
with
Yeah.
Charlize
Yeah.
Theron, Nicole Kidman, and Margot Robbie.
Oh, wow. She got an Oscar nomination for that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Still 6-0, Ria and Fran. And this is to Maggie and Ella. Shout out none other than Elizabeth from St. Louis. In the movie Mean Girls, why does Damien say that Gretchen's hair is so big?
It's full of secrets.
Yep.
Final answer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
There we go. On the board.
Yay.
Yay! Woo!
Wait.
Okay, 6-1, Ria and Fran. And this is question number 9 to them. Shout out Hallie from Clemson again. Spell Emily Ratajkowski's last name.
Okay.
I don't even have a guess. R-A-T-A.
RATAJKOWSKI. Yeah, RATAJKOWSKI.
Yeah. Final answer.
Correct. Wow.
Yeah. Spelling bee queen.
I'm a pretty good speller. Sometimes.
When it comes to famous people.
Okay.
In general, I will say.
7-1, Ria and Fran. This is question number 10 to Maggie and Ella. I'm going to play a movie clip, and you tell me what movie it's from.
Why are you here?
You wouldn't return my phone calls.
What do you want? You want another picture for your paper?
Jane, I'm sorry.
Please,
Believe me.
you used me to get ahead in your career. Be a man and admit it. Or don't, but please don't pretend that you give a shit.
Can you just please let me explain?
No, it doesn't matter. I just destroyed my life and I didn't need your help to do it.
It's literally on the tip of my tongue. This is
I
our
have no
question.
idea.
Yes, this is
yes.
your question.
Like, why am I picturing like a Disney Channel movie? Like, I feel like that's not a, like, I feel like there's a scene in like, what's that movie called? With that song, like something about
5
the
seconds.
sunshine. Like, I picture that.
Oh no, Starstruck.
Yeah, why do I picture?
No, it's not that. I literally just watched that.
On the side of the cliff. Okay. I guess
Fucking
we don't
love
have
Starstruck.
What's the final answer?
the- I guess.
Incorrect.
27 dresses.
27 dresses.
Not that.
Correct.
Oh my god.
27
Stop, I
dresses.
watched that last week. That's
Maybe that's why it was on the tip of your tongue.
James Marsden.
You knew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starstruck, 27
Yeah,
dresses.
same
like,
thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
Something about the sunshine, baby. Seeing you in a whole new light.
Okay, 8-1, Ria and Fran. This question's to them. Shout out Lexi from Minneapolis. In New Girl, Nick decides to give up women and put all his energy into growing something. What is he growing?
I don't know. I've
I have
only
no
seen
idea.
it one time.
I've seen it multiple times and I don't know the answer.
15 seconds.
Growing something. His,
Tomatoes.
right, like plant seems like an obvious thing, right? Like some kind
5
of
seconds.
garden of sorts. But,
Weed.
yeah.
Time is up.
Tomatoes.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah, tomatoes.
What? The answer is tomatoes?
No, seriously, am I the smartest person today? What? Should I go play the lotto?
I just, the tomatoes was the first thing you said, so I said tomatoes.
Yeah, let's just go with tomatoes. Whoa.
Whoa, weird. Okay, weird.
I don't know.
We did not know the answer to that.
Something's funky going on in my brain today,
Okay,
and it's good.
Wow.
9-1, Ria and
Props to
Fran.
you for saying,
I wanted to give out an answer at least.
yeah, tomatoes.
Okay, 9-1, question number 12 to Maggie and Ella.
What the hell?
Shout out Kaylee from Mankato, Minnesota. Fill in the blanks of this quote from the movie The Notebook. If you're a blank, I'm a blank.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Final answer.
Yeah, final answer.
Correct.
Noah, I forever think of, what do you want for lunch?
No, what do you want to eat?
Yeah, what do you want to eat? And he wrote to her asking, what do you want to eat?
That meme still goes around like on the internet of like when your girlfriend, like when
It's
you ask
so
her, and
funny.
it always gets sent to me. Okay, 9-2, Ria and Fran. Question number 13 to them. Shout out Elizabeth from St. Louis. Name this year. The OC finale aired. Miley Cyrus went on the Best of Both Worlds tour. Paris Hilton went to jail.
Best of Both Worlds tour 2007? Because the Best of Both Worlds tour was obviously before the Burning Up tour, and the Burning Up tour was in 2008.
15 seconds.
My thought is 2007.
Okay. It's either 2006 or 2007
Right,
in my
yeah.
brain, so let's go with 2007.
2007, final answer.
Correct.
Wow. Wowza!
This is,
Oh my God.
we got to go back and see like what the top score. Like, have
This
you ever gotten this many
might- yeah,
questions?
I don't
Shout
know.
out to
I don't
Elizabeth
know.
and Hallie for their questions.
Okay.
Not Ria and Fran
No.
under disguises.
Question number 14 to Ella and Maggie. Shout out Carissa from Effingham, Illinois.
Whoa. Watch your
Yeah.
language.
In the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, what sport does Blake Lively's character play?
Soccer.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Correct.
Nice.
She's a soccer star.
She is.
Dribbling that ball on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Where she meets her boy toy.
Mm-hmm.
10-3. Final question
Guy
to
from
Ria and
Sex Life.
Fran. Shout out Bree
It's our
from
final
Pittsburgh.
question here.
Okay.
Bree from Pittsburgh, but go Birds.
Okay.
She says.
Oh, enemy territory she lives in.
Interesting.
In Gossip Girl, what song does Serena play on Guitar Hero to impress Dan?
On
Oh my
Guitar
God,
Hero?
This is like one of the funniest.
Oh.
Is it Stairway to Heaven?
I don't know. I have no idea. This is all you. Go with your gut. I trust whatever you want to throw out there.
I'm going to go Stairway to Heaven.
Incorrect. Ella and Maggie.
I can picture the scene in my head. I just can't put the sound on it.
No, same.
15 seconds.
I want to say it's definitely
5
like an
seconds.
Aerosmith. I have no idea.
No, same.
The correct answer.
Wait. Can I guess? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it Freebird?
Yes.
Ah. Damn. You had it.
Damn!
You should have let the clock run out.
I should have. Why didn't I think about it?
Yeah.
And she's like this. She's like, free bird. She's like swaying. You know, it's like so dramatic. Oh my God.
I don't remember this scene like at all.
Oh my God. It's like so. It's so good.
Ugh.
Wow. I'm. You know what? I'm so sorry. I just like had that reaction, but like. To not get to have that game and not get that final point up
Right.
when then I guessed it
When you knew it.
is criminal.
Yeah.
The rest of the points don't even matter to me. Just
Final
kidding.
score 10-3. You were almost
That
close
was
to
a
only
great
missing
game.
one question. All
Yeah.
like both teams. Like 13
Yeah, we
out of
had
15.
13 out of 15
Yeah.
points.
Hey,
But
you were picking up stride there.
Well done, ladies.
Maggie was picking up stride. She was.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Well, thank you guys so much for playing.
You're the best.
And thank you guys so much for coming to our showing of No Hard Feelings. That was
Yes,
so cool.
double thank you.
Yes, double thank you, because when we go to LA, we're like,
We're always afraid
we were
people
like,
don't
is
show up
anybody
to
going to show
things.
up? But you guys did. So thank you so much. And thank you for playing with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks
thank
for having us.
Thanks, guys.
and if you want to just send
Thanks.
your
Oh yeah, send your
yes.
sizes and addresses to Noah's email so he can send you guys some merch.
Yep.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This interview is presented by Coors Light. When you're juggling work, family, and life in general, things can feel chaotic. That's why Coors Light helps you find moments to reset and refresh all year long. Whenever you need to hit reset, reach for a Coors Light. It's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. I have an ice cold Coors Light in my hand right now. The mountains are blue. The can is cold, delicious, crisp Coors Light. You're starting a new year. You're coming out of the holidays, hectic. Maybe you're taking a step back, relaxing a little bit in January. The weekend's coming up. It's time to relax, sit back, enjoy some nice cold Coors Light. We got playoffs this weekend for football. It's a perfect time to make sure you are stocked with Coors Light, or if you're headed out to the bar with some friends, you're ordering Coors Light there. So when it's time to chill, Coors Light is the beer we reach for. So when you want to hit reset, grab the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks. And always celebrate responsibly from Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely Larsa Pippen from Real Housewives of Miami. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are so excited. I have been dying to have you on the show because Miami, I talk about on our podcast all the time. I think the Miami franchise has been so underrated. The show is so good.
And we have so much fun filming it, honestly.
It is so fun. How excited were you to kind of get back into the game, into the show? Because it had been a long time.
Yeah, I feel like when I did the first season, it was like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And so much has changed. You know, I've changed as a person. So I felt like this was like the right time. My kids were older. I was ready. I was single. And I felt like it was just like the right time to get back out there.
Was there any hesitation to going back? Because the first time around, you weren't in it like the full time.
Well, I was in it. I just was like in a relationship and the person I was with really didn't care for it.
Right.
So it made it hard. And I think when you're trying to do something, you really can't do it 100% if your partner's not into it.
Right.
So this time around, I felt like I was single and ready to open up. My kids were older. I had more free time. And so it just made sense.
Yeah. So like Fran said, she is a huge fan of Miami. And she put me onto Miami because we just love Bravo in general. We'll keep up with everything. And I said right before you came in here, I was like, I keep up with the episodes, but sometimes I just zone out when Larsa's not on the screen. And then when you're on, like, I'm captivated, you know? I think it's fun to learn about your life. And especially this season, I feel like we're getting a whole new side of you.
Totally. I feel like we're supposed to do that. Aren't we supposed to evolve every year? Like, so I feel like it's like my evolution into like the new Larsa, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to get better.
Yeah. How much did you want to share, not share? Did you have conversations with Marcus before this season of how involved he would be? Because he's very much a part of the show now, it feels.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's very private. I don't think that he's ever wanted to be on a reality TV show or just to be put out there like that. But I think it's just like a natural situation for us. You know, we're together and I film a show. So, he kind of signed up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And, naturally people have a lot of conversation about your relationship, but I think you knew that going into it because you are on a reality show and you guys are talking about your lives. Do you ever get tired of some of the questions that are asked? Because we know that you love talking about your love, and I think everyone can see that. My friend who was at BravoCon was actually saying that she was like, you can just feel how much they really love each other when people are around you guys. But then, of course, there are other questions that are always asked every time you are in an interview.
I feel like, I don't know. We didn't know each other before we started dating. Like we weren't, I didn't know him 100 years ago. I feel like, so a lot of people want to assume that and they want to make it into a negative thing. And I feel like for us, like we're so happy and we're in a great place that it's like, I don't really think about like all the negative stuff, to be honest with you. And I kind of like tune that out because it doesn't really like affect my day to day. You know, what affects my day to day is me surrounding myself with good people, positive people, people that I look up to and people that are doing great things. If you're not doing great things, like I don't really care what your opinion is. If I don't respect you and want to be like you, then like, why do I care?
Yeah. Right. And people say that is hard, right? To ignore, the negative. What was it like for you at first? And were there tips or tricks that you kind of taught yourself? Like, hey, don't worry about what people are saying about this.
I feel like, I was married to an athlete from the time I was really young. So I've always had to like endure like the good, the bad, the evil. So I feel like I've kind of gotten used to the negativity at times, I feel like it's just a part of my world. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't really like listen to all the noise. It's just noise and it doesn't really affect me.
That's great. I mean, and we see on the show this past episode, you're talking with your daughter and kind of saying, oh, you'd rather have Marcus here. So it's he obviously gets along with everybody.
Yes.
What was the initial, like, bringing him in? Did you say to your kids, like, I have a new boyfriend, or was it more of like a gradual integration?
So we were friends for years.
Okay.
So we would always be on FaceTime, or he'd always call me, and I'd always walk into the other room where the kids were on speaker, and I'd be like, oh, hey, say hi. Like, my kids are like my best friends. So they kind of know everything before anyone knows anything. We're really tight at home. So they already knew him. They knew he was like super funny. They knew he was cool. So it was like they knew he was my friend. And then just like over time, it turned into more. And so it wasn't like a shock to my kids because they already knew
he was
him.
already a part. Yeah, he was already around. That's great.
Yeah.
I loved what he said too in the episode of like, I'm not trying to fill any type of role. I'm just here to like be a friend. And you kind of joke that sometimes they even team up on you.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
What is that like for you to see that dynamic?
I kind of love it.
Yeah, right.
Like, I love it. I love the fact that my kids are super comfortable around him, and they like talk and they kind of joke around about it, with each other, about each other. Like, so I feel like they have a great relationship, which is really important for me because it's really hard, like, to meet someone that can fit all these different boxes, I feel like it's hard to bring someone into my life. My kids are like superstars.
Yeah.
And they don't really need anyone, we don't really need anyone, but it's like when you meet someone that just adds value to your family, to your life, then it just works.
Do your kids have any interest of being on the show with you sometimes, or they're just kind of like, Mom, this is your show?
Well, my boys have zero interest, by the way. They're athletes. They're busy with, school and just focused on their careers. My daughter's 15. She's more apt to like wanting to film. I'll say, hey, Sophia, let's go shopping. And she loves to shop.
Right.
So she'll like want to do that kind of stuff. But my boys, not so much. And I don't want to put pressure on them. And even on like social media, my boys are not like, if you look at their social media, it's all basketball. It's not like them going to dinners or them going to lunches. So I feel like a lot of people want me to post my kids more, but they don't want to take any photos. Like, they're like, no photos.
They're dedicated to the game.
Yeah. Which I like. I don't want them. I like them to be focused on the things that like make them better, make them feel good.
Yeah. I thought the conversation in last night's episode was funny, where you guys talked about, if your kids are spoiled or privileged. And I felt like Marcus had to like remind you a little bit, like, Larsa, like, they're privileged. And he was like, because he was like, I grew up privileged. Like, I know what that's like. After that conversation where you're like, okay, yeah. Maybe.
I mean, I guess they are privileged. Yeah. They are. But they're great kids, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as you have
they're
a
not
good head on your
bratty.
shoulders. Yeah, exactly.
No, they're totally not bratty.
Exactly.
My kid's like my son's 18 years old, and he's getting recruited to go to all these great schools. Like, he has Stanford and Texas A&M and all these like big schools that are like obsessed with him. And he's never gotten a B ever in his life.
Good for him.
Like,
couldn't be me.
Yeah, he literally, like,
That's
my
really
kids,
impressive.
and my older son Scotty was at Vanderbilt, like, on the dean's list.
Yeah.
So I feel like my kids are really good kids, and so I feel like I should spoil them.
Yeah. This is maybe a silly question, but do you enjoy all the basketball?
I do.
Yeah.
I love basketball.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're not basketballed out.
Right. You
No,
love going
I
to the
love it.
games
I
and you
love
can't
it.
get enough, right?
I literally love it. I could coach a team. I love it. I love
Because even when we saw you put together the charity event and all the girls were playing on the show, like, what was that like? Because boy, some of those ladies,
Well, first
not
of all,
an
we needed a
athletic bone in their
wheelchair.
body.
We needed a few wheelchairs for that game, just saying. Like, it was not. It was fun. It was really fun, though.
Yes.
But the girls are not athletic. They're just pretty. They're just pretty girls.
Right. It was nice that they all showed up, though, to do it, right?
They showed up. It was for a good cause. It was for Make-A-Wish, which I love. And it was just fun.
Yeah.
I like to do stuff like that with my girlfriends. I think it like takes us out of our element,
Definitely.
It's definitely different than what,
Yeah, I'll invite you guys to the next charity game.
Yeah,
please. Sports driven.
We can ball.
Yeah.
No, I think that what is great about watching you on this show too is sometimes you insert yourself in the drama that I feel like you have an opinion on, and when there's stuff going on that you're like, I have no dog in this fight. You just let everybody else like do their thing. Like, it's not this whole few episodes has been about Adriana bringing Anna to the brunch and you were kind of like, I didn't really know her then. Like, I don't really know her now. I'm not getting involved.
I pick and choose my battles. Yeah. I'm like, I pick and choose my battles.
Yeah, it's because, I guess, has it been frustrating at all? Kind of, I know as a viewer, for me, it's been frustrating. Just like, I think Adriana can be so funny and authentic, but she gets kind of caught up in fighting or maybe trying to bring the other girls down a little bit. What has been your relationship like with her?
I feel like there's times I want to like be close to her. I want to be friends with her. But at the same time, I'm like, she's just one of those people that's like a snake in the grass. Right. Like you don't know when she's going to come out and like, kind of say something about you or do something to you. And I feel like I'm not like that. Like I don't really talk about people. If I say something, like I'll say it to your face. I'm not going to say it at my confessional. Like I'll just say it to your face so we all understand what the problem is. Yeah. And I feel like other people are not like that. Like, they just like to bark just to bark. I'm like, she's more of a chihuahua. She likes to bark a whole lot. And I'm more of like a pit bull. Like I don't bark. I just bite. Yeah. So that's just like what I'm used to.
You're going right for the throat.
Yeah. I'm like, that's just kind of what I'm used to, Yeah.
You guys have been on, you've been all back together for a while now, but sometimes you see fans and talk about maybe like the older cast who had been together and known each other longer, the newer people, and that maybe there is still kind of a divide. Do you feel a divide when you're with all the ladies?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I just feel like because like the OGs, we've been around each other for so long.
Exactly, yeah.
And we've seen each other go through like so many different things, and I feel like you're always going to make up with someone that you have history with. Right. We could say the craziest things to each other, but like when you've known someone for a really long time, it's kind of like you have to give them a pass. I don't care what it is. Like you're like, I've known her for so long. I love her.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt watching right now with like me. I'm like, oh my God, why is Nicole getting all the flack for the brunch from Alexia and Marisol when it's like, but they admitted it. They're like, oh, with Adriana, we know what we get. We know that that's how she's like, and we know she's like that. And like Nicole, we think Nicole's like a little more vindictive.
I will say the ability for housewives to get over things quickly. I mean, sometimes people don't get over things quickly. Yeah. But other times I'm like impressed. For instance, I was watching Beverly Hills and you see Sutton call Kyle Richards a bitch, and then 2 seconds later, Sutton's like, I'm sorry. And Kyle's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I kind of love that you could just call someone a bitch and then be like, I'm sorry that happened. So kind of for the same instance for you guys, it's like,
you know the people you know longer.
You know them long, and you know that you're going to have to film again, and you kind of have to like forgive and maybe not forget always, but
yeah, it's kind of like your sibling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know how like you're stuck with your siblings forever, and you can say crazy things to each other, and then like at some point you're gonna have to make up with them. It's kind of like that being on Housewives. Like we could say the craziest thing to each other, but then at the end of the day, you're gonna have to make up. with them.
That is such a good point. It's like thinking about this stuff that my sister and I have said to each other.
Same.
The meanest things possible. Same. And then the next second you're hanging out and you're
like, what do you want me to order us to eat?
Yeah. Like, are you hungry? Yeah. And then your parents are like, what? Like they can't. They just can't keep up. And that's how we feel watching this show sometimes. Are you watching the episodes back?
I watch that. We get them like a few days before they're put online. But yeah.
Do you watch it all, or do you skip to your parts?
No, I kind of watch it all because, this season I've witnessed a lot of my friends talking shit about me. And
that's why you kind of got to
take the notes.
And I'm like, really?
Right.
Like, I just don't understand. And if you had those feelings, why didn't you tell me to my face? Like,
and that's where that comes up on the reunion.
Yeah. I just feel like for me, I'm not like that. I'm not shady,
Have you guys filmed your reunion yet for this season?
No.
It's coming up soon, right? That's always juicy.
Yeah.
I do think one of the biggest things that felt like you were a part of this season was Gertie had told you about her cancer diagnosis and had said, kind of keeping this under wraps right now. And of course, the way they edit it is for some, trying to take something that is very serious and like they put a little comedic spin to it, where it was you being like, Gertie has cancer. Gertie has cancer.
No, but honestly, you guys.
So how did you? Yeah, what really went down there?
Okay, so we met for lunch and we argued for like 30 minutes before that scene.
Okay.
And then I didn't understand, like we were arguing back and forth about her talking about me on social media, calling me the fakest of all the housewives. And I never had beef with her. I've always been like her biggest supporter. And then she says, like, after we're like arguing, yelling, and she's like, I have cancer. And then she says, well, you're the first person I've told. And then 2 seconds later, she goes, well, I told a few of the girls. I told my husband. I told my, like, she just starts adding the list. I was so confused because I'm like, wait, first you said I was the first person you said. Then we're fighting about going to social media and like media outlets talking about each other. So when she goes, keep it in confidence, I assume she meant, don't go tell TMZ.
Right.
Don't go tell social media. Right. So I had been having all these conversations behind her back after Alexia's, we all were. We're like, she's so radical. What's going on with her? And so me telling my best friends, like, oh my God, she has cancer, was like a way of me feeling bad about me even arguing with her. Like it wasn't coming from a place of like, I'm gossiping about her. Like I've never talked about Gertie ever.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I was trying to explain to my best friends who, you know everything about me. And then me telling the girls like, hey, I want to do something special for her. It wasn't coming from a place of like gossip. Like, how do you gossip about that?
Right. Because it did seem like the beginning episodes, everyone was kind of like, something's going on with Gertie. We can't quite figure it out. And when you do obviously figure out, you're like, oh, there's something really serious going on.
Yeah.
It is something you share. It's like, oh, just want to let you know.
But in
there is
real life,
something
if you
serious.
heard something like that about someone you knew, are you not going to go back and tell your other friends like, hey, we should do something special for that person? Like, of course you would.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like she took it, she's just took it and like just ran with it all season long. And it was like, I just feel like, it didn't come from a mean place. But, a lot of times when you don't know each other, you might assume that. But if her and I had that long history that I have with like Lisa, Alexia, all those other girls, they would have never took it like that.
Yeah, right.
Do you feel like she was planning on telling the other girls soon after your conversation, or did you get the feeling like when she
We're on a TV show.
Yeah,
Right.
You didn't know which this
friends
is being
knew.
filmed.
First of all, we're being filmed. And then she says she told a few of the girls. So how do I know which girls she
ones?
told?
Yeah.
And then she says, she said, I told this person and that person. The list kept growing. So I didn't think it was me, trying to like, talk about her negatively. I've never talked about the woman, you guys. So for me to get like so much backlash over that was really hurtful. And for me, I'm the only one out of this whole cast that does stuff for cancer every year since season 1. I've been on the board of so many charities. I had a Make-A-Wish event. Thank God that, they aired it the next episode. Because I was like, it just makes me look so insensitive. But in all honesty, like, I sat there and had lunch with her and I was mad at her for her talking shit about me.
Right.
I was like, why are you telling the media that I'm the fakest of all the housewives?
Right.
And then it turned out to be that. But, I wish her nothing but health and happiness and all that stuff. But it definitely was hard for me because like it hurt me to my soul because I'm like, I am not that person.
Right.
And to be portrayed in that light, like it's just not fair,
It must be very conflicting for her too, because it's like, oh, you're going through so much personally in your own personal health, but you were on this show where perspective, like women sitting, everyone yelling at each other. In your mind, you're probably like, who cares about this? Like, so it's coming out of her at different times where sometimes she is kind of in the group and doing everything. And then also times where she's calling everybody out like, this is crazy. Look, I have real stuff going on. So it's a dose of reality TV because you are on a Real Housewives show and seeing her real life.
If I was sick and I wasn't feeling good, I just wouldn't go.
Right.
I just wouldn't go. I feel like your health is more important than all this other stuff. Than like, if it were me, I just wouldn't go.
Yeah. Do you think that sometimes, and then this is more towards, I guess, kind of like Nicole has gotten into more drama with like talking behind people's backs or rumors and whatnot. Do you think sometimes the newer cast try to say things for like shock value or to stir the pot a little bit?
Well, I think some of us have more going on in our real lives than other people. And some of us don't need to like do all the extra stuff for attention because we just naturally have it because we live like a great life. We do fun things. And some of us need it.
Yeah.
So
Julia singing at the at the party, the opera was one of the funniest parts of this
it really was,
whole season.
It was
I think
fun, yeah.
like fully training with a singer. Like I can't believe those real like musicians were like, you're doing so great.
So
What
funny.
was it like in the moment at the party watching her get up there? Because people seemed kind of moved by her performance, but watching it I was like, oh my God.
No, it was really fun. It was really fun. I'm proud of her for doing that. You
Yeah.
know, she did something that was totally out of her element, which is amazing.
And Martina loved it.
Yeah, she
Which I
literally
guess was really
over-
all that mattered,
yeah.
right? Like Martina was so impressed. So I
Yeah,
guess
she
that
was really excited.
really is the only thing that matters. But do you prefer filming with like the whole group together, or do you like it when you're kind of like one off with individual people?
I kind of feel like I like the one-offs better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you're one off that maybe if not the, you know, like other people are around, you can't have somebody have your back though at some points? You know, like maybe if it's a one-off conversation, it's just two people, somebody's right, somebody's wrong in each other's eyes. But when you're in a group, you can kind of have somebody be like, do you agree
Yeah,
with
I'm
me?
good.
or
I'm,
not?
I'm good alone. I can handle my battles.
Yeah.
I don't need a bunch of people to be like, she's right, she's right. I feel like one-on-one is like where you basically can say everything, get everything out. And when you have other people yelling and like getting involved.
Right.
And
And
a lot
then
of
more
times-
opinions.
Totally. But a lot of times you guys like, for instance, Lisa and I, like, we've known each other forever. We're like sisters. So even if we fight, like a new person can't come into our relationship and give me advice because you don't know what we've been through.
Right.
You don't know like our dynamic. You don't know our relationship. So it's like, it's easier if it's just like the two people that know each other and have had history and, you know.
Right. That is true. Sometimes people have opinions about other people's friendships or relationships when they don't know the dynamic when they're not around.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you love being back in like the whole Miami life, or because of course you were filming Miami, lived in LA for a long time. What lifestyle do you prefer? The LA lifestyle, the Miami lifestyle?
I kind of like both.
Yeah.
I kind of like both.
Do you do best of both worlds now?
Yeah. Yeah. My kids want to live in LA, so they go to school in LA, and I'm in Miami, so we kind of go back and forth.
And that works.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
guess
Two
being
hot
in
spots.
Miami. Yeah. I feel like two different coasts. I like
Yeah.
my LA friends. I like my Miami friends. It's just
Right.
fun.
What's the biggest difference, do you think, between your LA friends and your Miami friends?
My Miami friends are up for about anything, anytime. My LA friends are more of like a schedule thing.
Yeah.
So they want to know like, oh, let's plan a week from now. Whereas in Miami, I feel like people are more apt to like, if I call you at 6 and say, let's go to dinner, they'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miami people are looking for a party.
Yeah, they love to party, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. I feel like, you know, you can obviously find your places in LA to
Yeah.
be out and stay out late, but Miami stays out late like no other city does.
It's
I
just
think.
more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So we watched you on Watch What Happens Live, and there was discussions of engagement down the line. It's coming. What are those conversations been like? Do you know what he has planned for you, or you
I
think
do
you're going to be
not.
surprised?
I do not. He's very
Yeah.
secretive.
Good. Well,
You guys, he's very secretive and he's got a great poker face. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to see what happens. You know, I don't want to put pressure on him. I feel like the world like keeps asking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do that to him. You know, I feel like he's not, I don't know. I just want
Right,
to let him
but
make
he's-
the right decision at the right time.
and he has answered in a good way though, right? Like he's like, look, it's
Right.
Everything's in the works.
Yeah.
Was it brought up by the outside, or was it something that you guys talked about and then people grabbed onto? Because I feel like all of a sudden the marriage conversation started coming up more, the last name conversation started coming up more, and it was
You guys
like,
have your own show.
yeah, and it was like, but the step of an engagement has not happened yet.
I don't know. I feel like people just want to see where our relationship is going to go, you know, and I want to see where our relationship is going to go.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're just in a great place.
Right.
We really have fun together. We enjoy each other. We're like best friends. And so that's, you know, where we are.
You talked about having frozen eggs stored in LA. Is that anything you would want to unfreeze at a certain point, or you're happy with?
No, I feel like if I was to be with someone like I am now that
Yeah.
doesn't have kids, I feel like if he wanted to have kids, I would be up for it.
Yeah, you would be down.
I feel like I love being a mom. That's like my favorite, you know, title I've ever had ever.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's got to be hectic. Your name is in the press a lot, and it gets a lot of attention. Not only your relationship gets attention, but like tabloids, social media stuff, always they make headlines out of that. How do you deal with all of that as well?
I don't know. I'm kind of dealing with it. I don't know. Right. I feel like I don't really listen to the loud noise. I just kind of live my life, and focus on all the right things and not necessarily all the bullshit. I try to stay clear of that.
Do people send it to you, or do you kind of see it? Like, say, somebody writes an article, and does it get sent to you, or are you like scrolling and you see it pop up and you're like, oh, and you keep scrolling?
Both. Both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because I think too when you have such eyes on you on social media, people pick apart everything.
Yeah, I just posted a bikini pic the other day and they said it was photoshopped and it really wasn't. I looked big as a house in that photo. And I'm like, by the way,
not true.
No, literally, I was like, oh, I should have photoshopped it. And then my dad called and he didn't like the photo. And my dad was like, the photo you published, I need you to take down. So then I took it down, and people thought I took it down because of
because I was going to say there's headlines right now that say that you deleted a photo because of Photoshop.
Yeah, but it wasn't, and I'm like, by the way, I didn't even look skinny in that photo. I should have photoshopped that photo, by the way. Like,
not true, but it must be frustrating though, because I feel like Photoshop does get called out a lot on social media, especially now. But there are times where I see people calling out Photoshop, and I'll look at a picture. And sometimes I'll agree and go, yeah, that's definitely Photoshopped. And then other times I'm like, I don't think that one's Photoshopped. Like, I think we're just calling this out for
people love to cry. People love to say
they just love to say everything's Photoshopped, especially when somebody looks really good.
Yeah,
they just want to go, oh, that that's Photoshopped. But that is funny that your dad called you and said something. Is that something that happens often, where he's looking at your Instagram going, Larsa?
Yes. You guys, I come from a really traditional background. So I feel like my sister started calling me yesterday. Then my mom started calling me. And then once my dad texted me, I was like, I got to take the photo down. Like, I just can't deal with the smoke. It's too much.
Does your family know about all your business ventures?
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're not like supportive of all of them.
Right.
But, I feel like it's, I kind of have to like be authentic to who I am, what I like, but at the same time, I feel like my family, like if I'm getting on everyone's nerve, I have to take it down.
Right. And Instagram is like obviously a very public thing. At least sometimes for other things, you can be like, look, people are paying for this.
I'm like, I just took it down.
Right, that is true. You are on the new season of Traitors. How was filming that?
That was so much fun, you guys. You have to watch season 2. It actually drops on Friday.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to tune in. There's so many great people a part of this cast.
It was so much fun being in this castle in Scotland. And me being able to do this with Marcus was so much fun. We had a great time. And we actually had a conversation before we went to Scotland, and we're like, hey, look, like we're going, we're a couple, but we're going into this as individuals. So like, I hope you win. I hope you're a traitor. But meanwhile, I was like, I want to be a traitor, and I would murder him if I had to.
Like, I will take you down.
Literally,
if that's what it takes.
You gotta clarify that for it. We're going in for a game.
Yeah, like, I love you, but
this is not personal.
If I have to go through
all
you to
business.
win.
I was like, this is not personal. It's all business. So
did you meet anybody there that you really connected with from anybody else?
So many people. Yeah, I feel like
it's such a great cast.
It really was, and everybody was so different. And there were other housewives on the show. It was a lot of fun. And for me, like I'm not used to doing like physical challenges. It's just not my thing. I don't like want to jump out of a helicopter. I don't want to be buried. I don't want rats on my shoulders. Like I just don't like that kind of stuff. But it was just I did something that was totally out of my element.
Stepping out of your comfort zone. It's fun.
Like
and
when we
such
first
a fun
got
show.
there, they took us to this like huge Olympic-sized pool, and they said swim. Like back and forth, like I don't even know how many times. They made you swim through like a hula hoop underwater, and they made you pick up a brick from the bottom of the pool. So I was like, am I training for the Navy SEAL?
Right.
and then they're like, oh, your time was so good, you're a great swimmer. And I was like, no, I'm really not. I'm only good in a pool. I'm from Miami. I'm only good in a pool. Meanwhile, they were like taking us into these like, the locks, and like the water's black. And I'm like, I don't want to swim in cold, dark water. Like I just don't.
Right.
No. All of those shows, it's crazy, crazy what.
Yeah, some people like the adventure.
And an experience to talk about after.
Oh, totally. I'm telling you guys, I did things, you'll see like it drops on Friday, things that I would normally never do.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Very excited
for
to watch
this season.
Are there any of the other Housewives franchises that you really get along with, or any of the ladies that you'd like to hang out with? Because of course, like when we see BravoCon and everybody hanging out, it's so interesting to see who gets along like across what shows. Who do you like to hang out with the most?
I don't know. I feel like I like hanging out with like I shot a little bit of Beverly Hills, so I'm friends with like Garcelle, Erica, Crystal. Crystal and I live on the same street. We live
nice.
2 minutes
Oh,
apart.
really?
I just recently met Teresa Giudice at BravoCon, and her and I became really good friends. Melissa Gorga, I'm friends with so many different people. It's just cool because I feel like we do have a lot in common. It's kind of like being on this platform and like being under pressure sometimes, or like dealing with the scrutiny. Like you can always call people. Like I call Jennifer all the time from Jersey, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. I shouldn't have said this. And then she always like gives me advice.
Right. It's like the only other people that can understand what you're going
Those
through.
Jersey housewives love getting themselves in trouble too.
They're so good at it.
Do you watch any of the other shows?
You know what? I do sometimes, but I'm not like, I do.
There's 9 million shows.
Right.
It's hard to keep up with all of them.
Yeah.
But when there's juicy stuff going on, it makes sense.
That's totally it.
Yeah. Like when you see, or if you hear like your friends talking about something, it's like, oh, I'll check out that episode.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
That's what I want to watch.
Do you keep up with any of the Salt Lake? Have you seen what's happening with Salt Lake City right now?
I just see it on social media.
It's
a lot.
It's
That one's
one
a
of
lot.
the craziest.
How would you feel
Housewives.
if a new Miami housewife came in next season, and at the end of the season you found out she was a part of a anonymous gossip account talking shit about all the ladies?
No, you guys, it's just like, I don't know. You know what happens when you get on these shows? It doesn't matter how big you are in your real life, normal life. It doesn't matter who your circle is. When you get on these shows, you all become the same. And I feel like it's hard sometimes because you have people that are talking crazy to you that are nobody in your world.
Right.
So I'm sure they're looking at her like you are no one in this world, but now she has a platform.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's got to be challenging for the girls.
That's kind of what I was what I was saying too. It's like they're all on the same show now.
Yeah.
Like that's so
Right.
it's hard
They all
to
got there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Larsa, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming. We were so excited to meet you and talk to you. Real Housewives of Miami has been so great. Peacock, Bravo, however you watch it. Wednesday nights, Thursdays on Peacock. It's great. And Traitors is on Peacock as well for everybody to watch, which is so great. Traitors is coming today. This will come out tomorrow, so this will be out. So everybody can watch Traitors on Peacock. Stream it. We're so excited to watch that as well. And tune in for the rest of the season in Miami. We're excited.
Yay,
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
You guys had a great time.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have an amazing weekend, and we will be back on Monday.